Hey guys, it's Coach Casey, and
Coach Corey.
we are coming at you with some 19.1 standards, judging tips, and actually just strategy on the workout. So I'll be explaining some things, and then going over the movements with Corey demoing some things for you guys to keep a lookout for. So first, we're going to go over the wall ball movement. We want to make sure that we are starting the movement with a hip crease below the knee. That means you do not have to stand all the way up with the ball before you start your wall ball. So Corey, would you mind showing us a squat clean start? So he can start his rep by picking up the wall ball, not meeting full extension of the hips, but dropping into the squat. The ball does have to hit the center of the target if you're using a target or higher. If you're using go ahead, perfect. So if the ball hits low on the target, that would be a no rep. Nope. Okay. Thanks, Corey. So you may also drop the ball from the top. So let's say you need a rest, you do a good rep, and then let's show it dropping the ball. He needs a rest. Great job. So he can now go and pick the ball back up now that it's settled on the ground and begin doing more reps. He cannot let the ball bounce off the floor and pick it back up off of the bounce. Okay, so that would be a no rep. Um, Next, we're going to go, that's it for the wall ball right now. Next, we're going to go over some rowing technique and some of the things that you guys need to keep in mind while judging and while doing the workout. So your feet must stay in the holsters until you reach 19 calories. So that means you may not get your feet out until your rower says 19. It will be you or your judge's responsibility to reset your screen at the beginning of every round. So when each time you go in there, you guys need to discuss that before and make sure that you have a game plan set up between the athlete and judge. Um, on your on your row, there's a couple of different things we'll get into about getting started and pacing. So remember that you're going to be spending some more time on the rower than you will be on the wall balls. So it'll feel more like a rowing workout. Whenever you pick up the handles for the rower, you want to either give two or three little short strokes, or you can think about it like a quarter pull, half pull, and then a full pull to get that flywheel spinning. So Corey, can you show us what that looks like? Perfect. All right, so that's a great way to get each round started and get things going. Really big thing, main objective of the workout, I would say, is to pace. So do not go into this like you're running a sprint. You want to think about the pace of this as if you're running a mile run, you wouldn't go sprint your first 400. So go into the beginning of the workout with caution. Um, you're I would say go at a steady or a harder pace until about 17 calories, and then you're going to coast until 19. That may mean using a little bit more arm pull rather than legs, or sitting up a little straighter and not leaning as far back in the pull. That will save both of those will save your legs. Your row, like I said, will be longer. You'll probably spend 50 to 100% more time on it than the wall balls. So as far as a pacing perspective, just be prepared. If the wall balls take you 45 seconds, the row will maybe take you a minute and 30. So just be prepared to be spending some time on the rower. Avoid death gripping the rower. And just like I always say to you guys, don't rest excessively on either of the movements. It should be small sets, quick rest, and not even necessarily small sets, but you might be able to pull off some larger sets. But these are not movements that you're going to fail on. So it's more mentally taxing than anything. Say with a calorie row, I want to have Corey show you a couple of different strokes. One, it would it would be wiser to pull at a stronger stroke for calories. Kind of the saying, the slower you row, the further you pull, or the further you go. So pulling hard versus pulling often. So we'll show two different strokes. Let's start with a cardio.
So I'm going to do a lighter pull here, and I'll tell you how many calories I'm pulling per.
Perfect.
So right now I'm at roughly 900. Now I'm at 16.
So you can see that that longer pull is allowing that flywheel to spin a little bit faster, stronger. It's you're actually gaining calories faster by pulling at that stronger pace if you're capable of doing that. That being said, don't come out guns blazing and think on your first round everybody's going to pull 1600. That's not really realistic. So 15 minutes is a long time, and we definitely want to make sure you're starting off a little bit easy. I'll try to put out a pacing chart for you guys here shortly. For judges, if you are judging your friend, it is the judge's job to call a no rep on basically on this workout. It's pretty easy. You can watch their squat in the depth of their wall ball. Make sure that they're not rebounding the ball off of the ground, and make sure that the ball is actually hitting the target. That's another one. So let's say this would also be a no rep that we want to go over. So if the ball does not make contact with the target itself, that will probably happen at some point. It's a no rep. So you just have to shake that one off and make sure you're aiming at that angle towards the target. I think another couple of tips for you guys would be, if you're judging, it's really easy to get distracted. There's a lot going on. Count the reps out loud. You know, you don't have to do it really, you don't have to yell them, but count it out loud to your person you're judging, so you guys stay on the same page. They know where they're at, you know where they're at, and it will just make things a lot easier to stay on track. You may give your athlete a warning before you no rep them. So let's say Corey does a squat that's not low enough. I might say, hey, that's a warning. He may say, why? And that's fine. You guys can have conversation back and forth, but judges, just remember where you're at and you're counting. That is your responsibility, not really your athlete's responsibility. They might have crazy brains. So remember that it's your job to judge and not to encourage your friends. So make sure that you are judging, and if you would like to have another person nearby or yelling at you for pace times or for encouragement, then that would be somebody else besides your judge. I think that's all I got, y'all. I think that's all my notes. Do you got anything?
No. Good
Cool.
luck.
Yeah, good luck. I can't wait to see your legs, Lieutenant Dan's.